Hey everyone, I've been getting quite a few questions about this topic, so time for another video. People seem to be confused about how your armor, your gear, affects your combat. So, let me start first off by explaining it and then I'll show you. Your main body items, like your chest and legs, do affect both your defense and your offense. However, the gloves, boots, and helmets do not. Before I go any further, I'm gonna stop people from "you're retarded" posting comments, "you're retarded, you're wearing a void helm, that doesn't work that way." I know. I have random different assorted gears in my inventory. That is because I'm trying to show you gear of the same level type, the same class. The Pernix boots and the Steadfast are not the same, but that's the only thing that's not, so just disregard that fact. Okay, so if I change from my body, my melee body, to my range body, you're going to want to watch down here. These are your offense and your defense against a certain type. Now, currently I'm in all melee stuff. I do not have 750 range attack. That is attack against a ranged opponent. So, some people are quite confused about that. The defense does work that way. The defense against a melee opponent, a mage opponent, and a range opponent. So, if I were to put on this body, which is the same stats, 1610 and 1680, you see? The reason it's blue, normally, okay, so here I got the Steadfast on, you see the life boost is red. The armor is less. The armor on Pernix boots is 400, and on Steadfast it's 425, but it's blue instead of red because it's a different class. You can't completely classify it the same. It is less, but it's a different class. So, when I go with the chest, it's the exact same stats because it's the exact same level class. Watch my bars. You see both my offensive bars and my defensive bars change. I'll switch back and forth a few times for you. Okay. Now, that'll work the same thing for legs. If I change my gloves, which again are the same exact class, level 80, things of the same class are the same stats. When I change those, you see only my defensive bars change. That works for boots, gloves, and helmet. And I'll show you the boots. They are a slight class difference, level difference, but that's okay. And then the helmets. You see only the defense is changing. So, I hope Jagex doesn't change that. I don't think it's a glitch or a bug or an oversight. I think my understanding of it is that it's to allow you for slight defensive manipulation in different situations. Say you need more magic defense in a certain situation, but you require melee style of combat, you can put on a ranged helm, ranged boots, and ranged gloves to boost up your magic defense. And of course, you're going to take a loss or at least a change in the other defensive types. But that's the sacrifice you take because you're trying to boost up your magic defense or whichever defenses you're trying to boost up. I do not recommend meleeing in main body pieces like chest and legs because that's going to lower your offensive bonuses. You want as high offensive bonuses as possible. If you really do need the defense because you see it jumps quite a bit for mage defense, then you could, but you shouldn't have to. Capes do provide different defense, but you really don't want to get into changing that too much because critical bonus will then be affected. I have a video on critical bonus. I strongly advise that you watch it because more people are confused about critical bonus than this topic here, and they actually wind up disregarding critical bonus. They just say, oh, forget it, I don't understand it, I'm not going to pay attention to it. They think if they ignore it, it's going to go away. And no, it's still a very important factor that you have to understand. You don't have to, you should understand it. So I strongly suggest you go watch that video. Now, when I change my cape, the critical bonus on my Takhar Call is 2.4. The critical bonus on my Ava's Accumulator is 2.2. So, that's only a 0.2 difference in critical bonus, but watch my critical up here. It drops all the way down to 7.2. Well, last time I checked, 9.6 minus 7.2 is a little bit more than 0.2. That's because they're completely different classes. You want to use the correct cape, the correct necklace, and the correct ring for your class. See, I could put on my range ring and my backpack, my accumulator, and I have a horrible melee critical. The rings do not affect your defense. There are a few rings that give a armor bonus, but that's very minimal. So you do want the correct ring for your class, because now I'm at 7.2 critical versus what I potentially could be. Now if I put on a range weapon, you see, I'm on the melee ring, I'm sorry. When I put on the range ring, 4.2 critical in my melee, but if I put on my range weapon, it jumps all the way up to 9.4. That's because that's class specific. You have to pay attention to that. Certain things that are class specific are very important, others are not. Boots, gloves, and helmet can offer you good mix match opportunities for this. I think that's about it here. So I hope this helped improve your understanding about how armor affects your combat styles. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to message me in game. Chat's off because way too many people were asking me different questions, and I wanted to make this video without many interruptions. So feel free to ask me in game, post a comment here, like the video if it helped you, and subscribe for plenty more. Good luck with everything.